Hey, I'm Sam, and it's very early in the morning again. The sun isn't very high yet. It's about 6:30, and I woke up about half an hour ago. It's going to be another beautiful day, but there's a little bit of a breeze coming off the loch, and I have to keep my voice down because it's so quiet. My voice will carry, and it's extremely croaky first thing in the morning. So I don't know whether this is going to work, but I do have something I want to talk about. So, someone made a comment under the last video that was painfully honest, talking about shame. So I wanted to share some thoughts on that, because this thing that we call healing, this transformation that we call healing, it's really, really happening for me now. And shame is a huge, huge part of what's so devastating in childhood trauma, whatever form it takes. And what is shame? Shame is the fear of being seen. It's the fear of being seen. And because when we actually show up as infants, venturing out truthfully, showing ourselves, discovering ourselves, whatever we bring into the world, when it's seen, it seems to invite hostility or abuse, or criticism. And so we hide it. We hide it. And then we try and excise it from our being. We try and sever it. And then we live trying to become perfect, trying to resolve these parts of us that are unacceptable or attached to whatever abuse we experience. And that's why this channel has been such a painful process for me, because every time I made a video, I was revealing myself. New subscribers won't know this, but I've been doing this for about 5 years. And when I actually began to wake up and realise what it was I was doing with each video, which is I was pleading for validation, really, pleading for intimacy. When I realised that, I just deleted about 60 videos it's about 3 years ago now, because I felt so vulnerable and so ashamed. I just deleted it all. And I started again. I left it for a few weeks and started again. So that all the content on this channel is just from, the last 3 years. Because I didn't realise what I was doing. I didn't realise that for those with eyes to see and ears to hear, I was revealing things that I didn't even know. And that felt so vulnerable. And I felt such intense shame, I just deleted it all. But I carried on because, it means something to other people. And also, I wanted to show the arc of transformation. I was determined to not be just some fucked up person on YouTube that made a load of videos and then just disappeared. I wanted to follow it through. And it's worked. It's worked. Commitment to the process. Commitment to feel what you have locked away, what's preventing you from showing up. Commitment. You have suffered so much. You can handle the process of learning how to feel. So, I carried on. And though I still feel shame sometimes, after every video I feel a little bit of shame, sometimes a lot of shame. I have some thoughts about what it is I've been going through. So all of those parts of me that I would reveal in videos, just character, just personality, just character. It's that. Oh, that's all it is. My enthusiasm, my insights, my love for poetry, my sensitivity, my vulnerability, just showing those things just a little bit, I felt piercing shame, crippling shame. Why? Why? Because when I first began to become a person and those parts of me were seen, they invited abuse and neglect and hostility. So I hid them, but they're always there. They're always there. So the things that are the most fascinating, the most shiny, the most unique about you are very probably the things that you have hidden and very probably feel the most shame about, and are the gift that you bring into the world. They are your uniqueness. And there is always an invitation into humility in everything that we've hidden away inside us, to bring it into the light and not feel that it's special or shameful. It's just you. It's just you. There's nothing to apologise for. But I think that what happens to us when we're born into trauma, in whatever form that took for you, in the truth of our infant presence, we have a compass inside us and it points towards truth. And we're born into situations where the caregiver, the adult, through their own trauma, the compass is not pointing towards truth anymore. They have been, through their own trauma, they've become absorbed in their own selfishness with their own pain. And they've become so calloused to the pain that they then cause you. They can't afford to see themselves, and they can't afford to see the hurt that they're causing you, because they are selfish. And the distortion and dissonance of your purity as a child being exposed to such untruth, such distortions, is so damaging that we cannot reconcile it. So what do? We create a model inside our head, an abstraction, and in that model we invest our time and energy in trying to harmonize everything, trying to create a model where we understand everything, where we balance everything, where we can make sense of everything, where we try and find causal relationships and rules that make it all make sense. And it never does. The only way it can make sense is if you reduce the complexity down into a causal relationship with your presence, and every bad thing that happens and every good thing that happens being something about you, being related to you, because you are a character in this model. And then you try and navigate the world using that model, and it doesn't work. And when it doesn't work, and it's bound to fail, you feel an existential pain. And then you say, oh, this is my fault. Or you claim every good thing that happens as yours, successes and failures. And when it doesn't work, you go back into the model and you try and make it perfect. You say, I've done this wrong, I need to fix it, I need to fix me. And it becomes an addiction, even though it's agonizing sometimes, most of the time. There is an addiction to the thought, because you have a degree of control. Even though you're going over agonizing situations, there's a degree of control, and that's addictive. What is underneath it? What is underneath it? What is before it? What is before the model, the abstraction, the character? What is before the conflict? What is before the shame? From where does the energy come that sustains the abstraction in your own head? It's you, the real you. But we don't want to be the real us. So we go up and out into the realm of abstraction. And we get lost in what the mind feels, because we don't want to be down and in here where the body feels. Real harm can come to us here. So we go up and out, up and out. And all I can tell you is, I'm coming down and in. And down and in is an incredible place to be. All my life I've been driven by urgency. Urgency and desperation in the repetitive cycle of crisis I was born into. I learned very, very young, before I can remember really, my first conscious memories are of self-hate and fear. So I had 50 years, more than 50 years, of living the cycle of abuse. Living in the abstraction, up and out, anywhere but here, anywhere but here. So how do we come back to ourselves? How do we come back to the gift of it all? How do we come back down into ourselves, into the body, into our truthful presence, inhabiting ourselves without an apology? Not one morsel of healing is going to happen until you say to yourself, it's okay to be me. Until you say to yourself, I accept myself in my brokenness. I accept myself. But you have to reach your own point of exhaustion, depleting your life force and energy, feeding the abstraction of this model where you seek perfection and understanding, where you incessantly talk to yourself, incessantly looking for more and more detail, thinking that it will lay it all open and somehow resolve it all. It won't. It's an addiction, a soothing addiction. The model where the character that you've created lives will create more and more pain. And the more you come towards the realization that you want to let go and surrender, the more pain will live in that abstraction, because it's calling your attention, because it doesn't want to die. The character that we think we are in our mind doesn't want to die. But the only real death is the death of this illusory model that you've created as a way to cope. You have to cease the conflict inside you that you are feeding by your self-rejection and refusal to just say, this is me. This is me. That's the first step. That's the first step. And all the things that you are exiling, all the parts of you that you learned gained unwanted attention or hostility, will gradually come into balance as you care for them and accept them. And the exaggerations of your character that are actually meaningful gifts, you will no longer exaggerate. They will come into balance with the other parts of you that you were apologizing with, fawning. And you will be a person with no urgency, a person that knows stillness and peace. Though there is still pain, we have painful experiences. The memories and clarity keeps coming, but you don't need to dig, you don't need to fight for it. It'll come when it's ready to come, and you will understand, not in desperation, but in maturity. So what if all those things inside you that you are hiding are actually the most important parts of you? The parts of you that invite you into tenderness and acceptance of yourself and others, that provide insight and compassion and empathy, and that really are all an invitation to humility and relationship. I think they are. Today may be the last day. What if today is the last day? Some people would just try and cram in everything they want, think they want. Some people would make peace with themselves and start looking at the sunrise and listening to the birds. Some people would give up the fight, give up the war raging inside them, and just surrender. I recommend surrender. I recommend stop feeding the war inside you and just say, this is me. Do it now. Do it now. Do it today. Just say, this is me. I'm scared. I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't really know how to do this, how to be a person. I've always done it wrong. I don't like myself. But it's okay to be me. It's okay to be a person working it out as you go. And your honesty and your integrity and your sincerity in that endeavour invites authentic, real, truthful relationship. And you will get help from unseen realms and unseen helpers. Because you are supposed to be here. You are supposed to be here. So be here. Down and in. Here. Not up and out. Where? So those are my thoughts. Don't be ashamed of those hidden parts. Those are very probably your greatest gifts. So bring them include them in who you are. Okay, I hope all that made sense. And I shall be back soon. So thank you to everybody that participates in the channel. Thank you to all you lovely people that comment and all you lovely people that donate. It really makes a difference. You know, I try and share something of value in these videos. I share something of myself. And I shall be back as soon as possible. Okay, see you soon. Bye.